Hey everyone, I'm Max with Out of Spec Reviews, and today we are at Amazon's biggest delivery facility in Colorado, in Denver. And I'm here with, remind me what you do at Rivian?
My name is Bruce Ruckert. I'm actually with Amazon. I'm the driver
Sorry,
trainer
my
at
mistake.
Amazon. No, it's okay.
Senior trainer, right?
Yes. I'm one of the driver trainers out at the LMDA, the training facility here in Denver.
So you basically train all the drivers who are going to be using this on their daily routes, right?
Correct. This and any other vehicle that they dispatch in.
This Amazon warehouse processes up to 125,000 packages a day on a busy holiday like Cyber Monday when I was filming, so I saw actual EDVs going into service to ship packages to Denver neighborhoods. Now, the currently shipping vans share a lot of technology with the Rivian R1T and R1S, but they use more steel and less aluminum in their frame since they're heavy-duty cargo vehicles, and they don't need that insane off-road performance like the consumer stuff. Now, these ones have a dual-motor front-wheel drive setup, and there's an always-on high regen mode, which we'll talk about later in the video. The current EDV 700 uses a 135 kilowatt-hour battery pack, the same chemistry as the current truck and SUV, but they're hoping to use lithium phosphate cells to get costs down in the future. Now, they're also using that enduro motor in future ones, but currently, like I said, dual motors for front-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive ones that will come eventually will have that enduro motor on the front and the rear axles.
This van came online about a month and a half ago.
Nice. And I know there's, our viewers are big EV nerds, so they may be familiar, but there's like 3 variants of this, right? The 500, 700, and 900.
Correct.
With cubic feet storage capacity.
Correct.
This would be the middle of those, right?
This is actually the 700.
700, yeah.
This is our larger one. It's the longest vehicle we have in our fleet.
Okay, so basically as big as any of your existing combustion vehicles in the fleet.
Larger, yes.
Yeah, and I can see behind you, you guys have set up all these chargers. So these guys are charged overnight, right?
They're charged overnight to get the initial charge that they need to go out and make the deliveries, and then after that, the regenerative braking also charges the system as they go about their delivery.
Right. So this has a one-pedal mode, kind of like a lot of EVs, like the Rivian trucks, right? So
it does.
What is it like, kind of training the delivery drivers to get used to that?
Well, you know, there is a little bit of a learning curve. It takes a little getting used to. When we're training them, they have to do an indoor facility course for about 30 minutes. And by the time they're done with that, they're kind of starting to get that acclimation. They're starting to feel a little more comfortable with the vehicle.
Yeah.
And then we take them out on the real road and let them drive for an hour, and there again. By the time they're done with that, they're pretty much well adjusted to that whole pedal sensation.
Right.
It kind of dissipates and feels a little less, you know,
yeah,
cumbersome, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah, and having that on, I imagine, makes this so much more efficient for, you know, the kind of low-speed driving around town, doing day deliveries.
It does.
What's the nominal range on this one?
The nominal range on it, I believe, like I said, it starts off at 150 miles.
Okay.
And then after that, the regenerative portion of it goes throughout.
If they had a downhill route, they might get more.
Yeah. But I mean, for the routes that they do in the city, it's more than enough.
Okay, great. Could we take a look at the charging port
sure.
on the other side?
Sure.
And by the way, I just want to point viewers' attention to these awesome headlights. You guys are probably familiar with R1T, R1S headlights. Rivian has done a great job with custom headlights. Well, these daytime running lights are no exception. Really cool design. You'll have that lovely Amazon Prime logo there too. And so yeah, this is the charging setup. So it looks like, I guess this is capable of DC fast charging. Not that you guys would normally do that, but it seems like it's got the outlet for that.
Absolutely.
Okay, but obviously for battery management makes sense overnight.
Overnight
you only really need to charge on the AC.
What we've noticed too in the vans, we have a number of them that are residing in the warehouse that aren't on a charging system. The battery stays stable for about 2 days, and then it does have to get on to a charge.
There is a little bit of drain over time,
Absolutely.
Right? One of the big benefits I was just hearing about this facility, right, is that you guys have this huge indoor space, right? So I imagine that helps with kind of thermally managing the batteries. And, winter time, it does get pretty cold here.
Yeah.
Since they're in the front, do you mind if we take a look through the back in the
go
cargo area? Yeah. So this is obviously where drivers will be spending a lot of time loading up their packages. This looks like a pretty wide space, right? There's a lot of like room, honestly, it seems like.
There is an awful lot of room. I mean, we've got the whole 3-tier stacking program here.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the vans only have the 2-tier stacking program, the 2 shelving.
Right.
But here we're able to, because of the size of it, we're able to get more cargo in the van as well.
Nice. And it almost seems like you could configure, honestly, these to be, I mean, a little bit longer if you needed to, right, to get bigger boxes in.
Well, usually we have shelving that can go up for the boxes, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you can configure it in anything you need as far as what you're, depending on what you're carrying for the day.
Could we just see, like, the door mechanism, if you're able to close that? Also love the little bit of branding, love the kind of like, I don't know, a lot of character with this like big red LED tail light and the blue door. In my opinion, this looks so much both like cuter and more distinctive than any other Amazon vehicle I've seen on the streets. It's surprising to me just how, like, I haven't been in too many, cargo vans, but just how flat, this floor is.
Yeah.
I guess part of that's being an EV, all the batteries are down below, but it's not like, the wheel wells even aren't that big. There's just so much space here. It's hard to convey in video, but, like, very tall.
Yeah, you know, as a lot of our drivers, if you're plus 6 feet, you're running your head in the top of the vehicle. This one, you're not going to have that problem at all.
Yeah. So you're a driver, let's say a new driver in the area. Is this something they kind of upgrade to, or how does that work?
How the program works is most of the drivers start out driving the traditional Armada vans, the Rams and the Ford vans.
Right.
And then they migrate their way into another van that's called a custom delivery van, which is a little bit bigger box van.
Right.
But this is our premier van that they have to graduate into after that.
Right. Is this the first time that there's been, to your knowledge, like a bespoke kind of collaboration with a manufacturer to this degree, like Rivian and Amazon working together on this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, you can tell, right, there's so many little quality of life affordances.
Oh, yeah.
Down to aesthetic details, right, all the blue branding.
Right.
It is a very interesting vehicle. And there's, I think I was hearing like 20 to 40 kind of floating around right now here regionally, and we're hoping, I'm guessing you guys are hoping to order more next year.
Absolutely. Yep, and they'll all come through our training facility, and we make sure that every driver has the opportunity to drive this if they want.
Nice.
Yeah. It's not too hard of a sell, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, if I were a driver, this would, like you were saying, this would be my pick right away.
Right, absolutely.
Are the, we were all talking about how this is such a, larger cargo capacity. Are the smaller ones going to be rolled out in the near future? Do you know anything about?
I'm hearing word that they will be as well. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a need for them as well, because this vehicle, it's large, and there are certain metropolitan areas where that smaller van will fit a little bit better. So.
Right. I mean, living in Boulder, I can just tell you some of those roads pretty narrow.
Right.
So in addition to having this pretty decently sized plastic bumper with, of course, powered by Rivian logo, very cool, your turn signal indicator, I've also noticed there looks like a little aerodynamic detail here. Your Honda Insight fans will really appreciate this. I think there's a little bit of covering over that wheel, presumably for aerodynamics. I haven't seen this on any of the gas, Sprinters or transit vans that Amazon uses on the combustion side of things. So presumably this gives a little bit more better EV range, getting you to that 150 miles, especially in those highway scenarios where, as we all know, an EV is going to be much more limited in range, having to go high speed with a single gearbox. Here you can see the EVSC boxes Amazon's using. They've installed these Siemens, of course, level 2 AC chargers. The vans are capable of DC fast charging, but as any EV owner knows, you won't want to do that every night. So they don't. They just charge them overnight, and that seems to be enough for whatever the battery pack is. I would guess somewhere in the over 100 kilowatt hour zone, but they're not telling me the exact specs, but it's enough that overnight level 2 charging can do it. And you can see they've got all of these vans piled up here. This isn't even the full fleet. I think there's like 20 basically just in this warehouse already. A lot of them are already doing their daily delivery routes. So here's some just lined up over here. Of course, the one we're looking at way over there with its really cool tail light design.
I'm Connor. I drive with GHG Transport. I've been working about 6 months now.
Awesome. And Connor, so you have this Rivian EDV. What are your thoughts on it?
I love the EDV. It's pretty much better than the vans in every other way.
Right, you were driving, like you said, the Ford Transit ones before?
Yeah, like the Ford Transits, the step vans.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just pretty much just so easy to drive. It's got really cool features.
Yeah.
Like heated steering wheel, heated seat.
Do you mind showing me like your favorite, I don't know, like feature of the doors or just kind of the ergonomics of it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you just carry this fob around, and then when you walk up to the van, it just unlocks for you.
So it's like a keyless entry kind of thing?
Yeah, and it's like the same when you walk away, it'll lock up the van
and
for
the
you.
other ones, the combustion vans didn't have that?
No, definitely not, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so yeah, I'm not worried about like being locked out of the van because I just keep the fob on me all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes it super easy, super convenient.
Nice, super nice interior, and those screens are kind of synced with
Yeah,
your work phone, basically, right?
Yeah, so like if I do a stop on my work phone, it automatically updates on the screen here.
Nice, and I guess we're seeing the rear camera view on the screen right now.
Yeah.
And that also has like a kind of 360 bird's eye view, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you found that really useful?
Oh yeah, for sure. You just feel a lot safer when you're backing out. Like you're not worried about hitting people because you can pretty much see all around you.
Right.
And then it's got like sensors too, so if you get too close to something, the sensors go off.
Yeah, and the one pedal, what are your thoughts on that, like adapting to it?
It's at first I was kind of like skeptical about it, but once you get used to it, it just makes it way easier. Like you can pretty much drive all day and like barely hit the brakes. I mean, I'll probably use like, by the end of the day, I'll probably use like a fifth of the battery.
Okay, so, and do these, I'm guessing these probably are, you start at 80% just for battery conditioning in the morning?
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Okay, not quite 100,
yeah,
makes
but
sense.
it's like just under, I think, 150 miles.
But plenty to get you through, you know.
Oh yeah, easily.
Days.
Yeah.
Nice, and this is, you're basically, right, delivering the metropolitan Denver area?
Yeah, pretty much like off 225 mostly.
Okay, so highways and stuff, the driving assist, do you like that?
I do like the lane assist. Sometimes it gets a little weird because like if the lane changes and it doesn't see it, like it'll try adjusting for you. But
right.
I mean, I feel super safe driving it. I feel way safer driving these than all the other vans.
Nice. The lane assist. Is there adaptive cruise on this, do you know, or?
I'm pretty sure there is. I haven't used it. But...
Cool. And obviously a speed governor, right? Limitations of, I mean, it's a delivery van. You can't you know, be going too fast. But is this, do you know if this is like the all-wheel drive one?
I'm pretty sure it's all-wheel drive.
Okay, it was 4 motors.
I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, feels fast?
Yeah, the acceleration like really caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way powerful than I thought.
Oh man, that's awesome. And one more thing, do you mind showing me that middle door, like kind of like through the cab?
Yeah, we'll go around the other way.
Yeah, I'll join you there.
Yeah, so you're supposed to be able to unlock it just by hitting this twice. Sometimes it doesn't work, but...
Oh, nice. Just releases there. And has that been really handy?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's like super spacious in here. Like you feel like you have way more room.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of room to kind of walk between the storage shelves.
Yeah, the transits get super crowded. So.
And it's tall too. Like, how tall are you?
I'm like 6'2".
Okay, and you're never banging your head in this guy?
No.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Connor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Have a good one.
All right, Bruce, we're in the cockpit here, and so or the cab, right? That's the actual term.
The actual cab.
Okay, and this seems like a decent amount of space. Like, not only is it high, like the space over there was, but it's like, you know, you've got space to comfortably move around.
Absolutely.
There's standing area here.
You're every bit of what, 6 foot something?
I'm 6'2", and I'm comfortable right here. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, you know, that was one of the big sells with this vehicle as well, because some of our drivers in these other vehicles are hunched over all day. You know.
Right.
So, yeah, the fact that this is taller and it gives so much more room to maneuver around.
Yeah.
You know.
And you've got the instrument cluster, and then the screen, which looks familiar. If you're a Rivian owner, you might recognize this.
Absolutely.
But of course, customized for this van. So could we, let's say, open this middle door behind us right now? Oh, it's pretty cool. And can you close that from that as well?
Actually, the only way it closes without me manually closing it is putting it in gear, and then it will close.
Okay, so there is an electronic mechanism, but that happens automatically when you're in gear.
Correct.
And that's one of the things, right, that makes life as a driver with this so much easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, once they leave the vehicle and they lock the vehicle, that door will close.
Right,
as well.
so beware thieves, you're not getting Amazon packages this way.
That's exactly the truth.
All right.
So,
That's cool. And so there's navigation here.
There is navigation here on
Yeah.
this panel, and then there will also be navigation here.
Right, and that's kind of similar to the phone app that the drivers are already using to kind
Correct.
of plot their routes.
Correct, because if we go back here, this is where they'd scan in the QR code,
Okay.
and then it Bluetooths to the device.
So they sign in with that device, then it's
Absolutely.
synced to their driver.
Absolutely,
Makes
and
sense.
they can do all the delivery right from this screen at
Yep.
that point.
That's cool, and kind of like the Rivian consumer products, right? You've got your climate controls at the bottom here, good easy access to defrosters, very valuable in Colorado. Emergency lights, you know, very useful for parking situations.
Absolutely.
I love this powered by Rivian branding on the grab handle, very cool. Well, thank you so much, Bruce, for kind of showing me around this EDV, and it'll be cool, I think, to see these on people's neighborhood streets. If you haven't already, our viewers in the Colorado area can expect to probably already be seeing these.
They have been already seeing them. In fact, they'll pull up next to us and take pictures.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, the fan base is real. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you everyone for watching. This has been my experience with the Rivian EDV.